Hi, everybody. Welcome to Meet the Mailers. I'm Paul Bobnak for Who's Mailing What, and today I'm talking with Anneliese Gelber. She is a strategic sales business development executive with Southeastern Printing. Now, before we get started, if you have any questions or feedback, please comment in the box below. You can show your support for the program by tapping the like button, and to get notified when we add new videos to the channel, click on subscribe, and that'll ring that bell whenever we do that. So now let's meet the mailers. Hi, Anneliese. Welcome. Thanks for coming in today.
Great to see you, Paul. Thanks for having me. I'm really excited about chatting with you about direct mail and all things print related.
Awesome. Me too. Well, let's get started by talking about your story. How did you get involved with print and direct mail?
Well, that's an interesting story. I was actually starting to study marketing, and my heritage is German. And in our small town in Germany, my family owned a newspaper printing press. And so they would publish the newspaper daily.
Wow.
And so this printing was in the blood in the family. And my father was in the business in the US of selling large newspaper run print presses. And he said to me, well, what are you going to do with that marketing degree? And I did not have a quick enough answer. And so he said, I think you should try to go to college to RIT, Rochester Institute of Technology,
Sure.
and maybe explore their print program. It's actually quite interesting. So I left the warm weather of Miami and ventured out to Rochester and switched majors to print production management. And it was incredibly exciting. It was a great way to understand the print business, and combined with my passion for things marketing, it's really led me down a path that was somewhat unexpected and quite exciting 20 plus years later.
Wow. Yeah, I can imagine the difference too between Miami and Rochester just alone.
That was a shock for sure.
And so what does your daily role involve at Southeastern?
My daily role is business development, and I work on key strategic accounts myself. And then I also help assist our team with their key strategic accounts with continuing to further develop the business. So we have quarterly business review meetings with all of these strategic partners that we have, and continue to partner and unearth different types of programs and ways that we can help our clients.
Okay. Well, let's really just get right to it then. And can you give us an overview of the solutions that Southeastern offers to marketers?
Absolutely. We have an incredible offering. Our CEO, Don Mader, has really expanded our business footprint, and it's been an evolution of services continually being added on and expanded. We offer brand management through our Brand Stash portal, and that's a program that can manage all of a company's brand assets, not only digitally, but print related as well. We also offer all things print, small digital runs, mid-size runs, large digital web personalized print runs. We also do a tremendous amount of direct mail and data analytics. We have a fantastic team for that. Visual marketing and signage as well. So that's anything for point of sale and in different, windows and outside as well. Fulfillment and influencer boxes, that's a large part of our business that continues to grow. We recently added a couple of years ago 65,000 square feet of the state-of-the-art fulfillment warehouse. So that's been an exciting venture. And warehousing and logistics, which ties into the warehousing. Promotional and gifting also has been an expansion piece of the business as well, since it seems that clients are really tying that into their marketing budgets.
Right. Yep. Yep. Well, I mean, that's kind of what I want to get into and focus in on a lot, is all of the different aspects of print and how direct mail is a big part of that, but it can also be tied into every other part of branding and marketing. So let's do that. Let's talk about elevating your brand, your company's brand. Why is it so essential today for companies to do that?
Yeah, that's a great question. We work with so many markets, right, Paul? We work with healthcare, financial, travel, energy, nonprofit, health and wellness, a myriad of type of clients. And it is really critical in your brand messaging to be consistent in the brand building. When you do this, you are creating trust in a marketplace. And you do that by not only the consistent messaging, but consistency in the quality of the messaging pieces, be that digital, print, direct mail, gifting, promotional items. All of that weaves in and ties a story. And when you build this and it's consistent, you're building the trust, the recognition, and the loyalty all at the same time. And as a company creates this path and a journey, I think what happens is you start to now also understand your client more. And that's critical, right? Understanding your consumer and your client. And so by weaving in the consistency and identifying and doing the project work to continue to get the market feedback and be in tune, right, with the responses through all of the different channels that you're offering, to bring that back to marketing teams, to evaluate that, to be nimble enough then also to make maybe certain tweaks along the way to really tighten up the consistency in the offering. We're finding that's a great path to success. And we're lucky to be able to partner with clients at that level when they're creating their brand strategies. We do assist in a lot of startups, but then we also have very, very large companies that not only have a very focused offering, but are expanding within their business units. And so we find that very exciting because when you are able to come to the table with a client at inception of these types of initiatives, we are able, because we service so many verticals throughout different industries, to bring some best practices and ideas to the table and what we've seen work through the different marketing channels. So we really try to do this strategically with clients and start to help develop a plan, always again within what the objective is, the reach to market, and then the budgeting. And so what we're finding is when we start at that point with the client, we are able to develop the most successful type of campaigns as a group.
Yep. And so what role, maybe more specifically, does direct mail play in all of that branding and building loyalty with customers?
Absolutely. I mean, as we know, direct mail, for most of us, I've been in the business 20 plus years. I've seen the evolution of direct mail and what that looks like. It's really interesting because in the last 3 to 4 years, the increase in direct mail has really grown in the B2C market. What we were finding is it was, hard to reach people into this digital overload that we all experienced in the last 3 to 4 years. The open rates and emails and what have you, and some of the social measures weren't working exclusively. And what we saw was sometimes clients were allocating larger budgets to that and less to direct mail. And now what we're seeing is larger budgets funneling to the direct mail channel. And what we offer is we offer a boombox technology that does a digital overlay. So our largest path of success that we're seeing right now currently is with our boombox technology that allows a list to have a social match appended to Facebook and Instagram. And so a week before the mailer hits home, you're starting to see the different banner ads and the ability to click through and convert digitally. But what's interesting, what's happening with this, as well as the USPS product of informed delivery, which also is definitely making its mark, with that visual, again, consistency, right, and messaging. What we're finding with these multiple touch points before the mail piece gets in home, there is not only a recognition, but somewhat of a trust being built in that funnel process. And the results of that, by the time the piece hits home, are increases of response of 24 to 38%. It's been remarkable.
That's great. Yeah.
It's really incredible. And then it continues to live on because the retargeting continues to go if someone has visited the website. And what we love about this product also is, and this offering to our clients, you can now purchase some of the actual leads that now come to the website and start to create your own owned prospect list.
Okay.
And what we're finding is if we strategically work on a campaign, we have at the ready a second mailing for live leads that have come to the website but haven't converted. So as we know in the business, it really is 8 to 16 touches before you really have a conversion. So we're finding that implementing the best methods in multiple channels together are finding us a greater success rate. And it really is working.
Yeah. And like you said, too, it's the the consistency is really key, that you don't have all these different silos where nobody's really talking to each other and nobody's really aware of what each other channel is doing.
Exactly. And you know what we found even more interesting? We had a client who had done no advertising for 3 months, only the direct mail. Prior to that, they were doing quite a bit of different channel advertising. And what would happen is many times the direct mail responses, if they came through generically on the website, they were attributed to the social media bucket of wins.
Right.
And so what we love now is that there's attribution to actually go back and provide this data. So we're working closely with clients to really understand through the entire funnel process, Paul, when you have conversions to match back to those mail lists, those website visits, and really help create a full funnel program with the reporting. And so our data team and our analytics really do offer deep dives with our clients to help, because what we're finding is the marketing teams, the data analytics team, everyone is having tighter resources. So as a partner, we find that this is really the critical result to be able to help actually propel and continue to grow the direct mail budgets and show the attribution of results.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I love it. It sounds pretty awesome. And what I really like too is the fact that all these different channels are warming up the customer to see the other channels, and then the direct mail piece, the print piece that they can physically interact with. And as a lot of studies show, it sticks around for more than like 2 seconds on your screen. It sticks around for minutes, hours, even days, and you can still get that attribution from that print piece.
It's remarkable. I have a snippet of a case study for a mail campaign that 90 plus days responses were coming in, and the highest responses were at the 60 to 90 day rate.
Oh, wow.
From the people analyzing the piece, putting it to the side, coming back to it. But what was interesting about that piece, and what we're also starting to see now to really drive some of these results, Paul, is the personalization.
Mm-hmm.
And for this particular mailer, it was physician care offices. And what we did is also employ some geo-targeting. And so we actually printed a radius of an address that was the closest center, or we could print the closest two centers to come and visit. The call to action was to come and take a visit to the center to then meet and potentially become a member patient of that center's doctor's network. And the calls came in the most heavy time from that 60 to 90 day period. So it really does live in, and we've seen this.
Right. Yeah, I think that's a great example of geo-marketing, and also just a tribute to making sure that your direct mail piece, you can still use that channel 60 or 90 days later. If you set up a phone bank or a Pearl or a QR code, don't deactivate it right away. Keep that active, depending on who your client is, of course. So let's talk about some of the case study successes of brands that have included mail in their mix of digital and physical channels.
Absolutely. I've got a couple of ones to share with you.
Oh, awesome.
The other thing we're seeing with that type of kind of marketing at the ready is these types of envelopes we can print on demand in 4-color and full process. So this is interesting because in the past, what you saw is a lot of companies thinking, let's produce our envelopes for the year, mail, keep them, in the warehouse, and then mail as needed with campaigns. So what we're trying to do with our clients is look at the different strategies and now be able to deploy something more nimble, Paul, with different initiatives throughout the year that offer the ability to then message and print anything on demand like this at a super cost-effective price. So these programs are becoming more tailored. And what we're seeing is we're able to do different A/B testing and different splits now with that kind of offering and strategic approach.
Yeah, and I can see that be cost effective. Thinking ahead like that you don't have your warehouse space being taken up by something for a year, and also being able to segment your data and print and mail in a smaller quantity if needed.
Exactly. And that's, so what we're doing is then these monthly types of campaigns we're really analyzing, and then we have nimble creative ready that we've kind of planned out then for these alterations based also what we're seeing on the responses. So it really has helped, I think, marketing right now, as we all see, people are continually pivoting into what the message is. So no one wants to see things in the warehouse that are expiring, that are utilizing budget that could otherwise be much smarter used.
Right, right. Yeah, I know. I think that's like been a traditional approach, and it just doesn't make sense to take up warehouse space if you really have to pivot your messaging fast.
Exactly.
Yep. Well, let's talk about one of the vertical markets Southeastern serves, travel, for instance. What are some really good practices for travel marketing and direct mail?
That's a great question. Right now, we have a multitude of travel clients, a lot of cruise lines, timeshares, different resorts. And what we're seeing is really driving towards loyalty programs, people that have visited, people that have been past passengers. And what's interesting is what we've seen in the past sometimes, Paul, is we have some incredible data analytics and data scientists and incredible marketers. And what we've seen when we work and strategically partner with clients and start to unearth some of the data that they already have is that they sometimes think, some of our clients, it's just too much of a lift to incorporate it. And so what we're really encouraging is looking at these programs that they have for past visitors, past passengers, to utilizing the data of where they may have traveled to, what their likes are. They all have this data, but they're not utilizing it in the print pieces to the level that could be utilized. So what we're seeing in those marketplaces are the driving towards personalization, but a higher level, not just using the name, Paul, really utilizing if, okay, we saw that they've now cruised in the Mediterranean, but they haven't cruised in the British Virgin Islands. We saw that they did these excursions, but maybe never worked on or, engaged with these types of excursions. So upping the offer in the excursions, really starting to see the trends in those people and what they like to do and marketing towards it, because it's all there to be utilized.
Right.
And with our equipment and what's happening in the industry, which is amazing, our digital web press can print every single piece individually. You could have 300 items in one piece that are personalized to Paul.
Right, right.
So the ability to do this is there. The ability to even up the ante for the offers higher for the more loyal client is there. One piece I want to share actually is a fun one.
Oh, cool.
Meetings and events are a huge part of different resorts and all of these types of travel related items. So we did something for Hyatt, which was a Hyatt Regency, and this is a belly band wrap that we mailed around the tin with USPS.
Wow.
And it was an offering to encourage the travel agents that book events to come and book with them. And what that is we sourced the tins, and we actually sourced the sand dollars, which we hand tipped on in our fulfillment department.
Those are real sand dollars?
It's a real sand dollar.
Wow.
It literally is a real, so it's fantastic. The results for this were really quite amazing. And then there's this long piece, which I'll show you in the end, that actually has a response card to then mail in for more. And they actually flew many of the people down to come and actually tour this resort. So what we're finding is, even within this, the 3D types of mailers that are in boxes, mailers that are in containers, things that are standing out in the mail are really pulling, much like the envelope I showed you. Again, colored mailers, things like this with a colored envelope, curated labels, all of these types of things are garnering a larger response. So what we would say in those markets are, let us help our teams work with you for the data that you have to create the more impactful pieces. And again, with that, yes, the QR codes, we can personalize the QR codes. We can also add videos. So if they were in their own mail piece, Paul, if a client had a lot of video content, which the travel clients do, we can add a snippet of that particular destination from a video, a couple seconds clip.
Mhm.
So these are ways that we're really amping it up and seeing the engagement.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it's I mean, uh, just using that data, like you said, there are so many hundreds of data points that you could literally collect just based on simple interactions. And if you get clients who are travel clients after a trip to complete a survey and say, here's what I liked, here's what I didn't like, you add that to their data profile, and it's just as valuable as indications of what their next ideal trip would be.
Exactly. And one of our large clients, just another sample to show you, is Atlantis in the Bahamas, which is a fabulous resort. This is a
Oh,
pop-up
wow.
mailer.
Cool.
And so what we're seeing also, that was their 20-year mailer, and that was extremely successful and just shows, the beauty of the property and the scope of it. So we also like to engage in things that are different. So we've got an incredible team here to really help produce these types of projects. And again, source anything, in tandem to go along with a mailing like that. And, the fact that we're a seamless mailer, we don't have to clear anything at the post office. I mean,
Right.
the speed to market is huge. And then also what's nice is having a partner, I think, that looks at a mail piece and the feasibility. Our relationship with USPS and our rep is phenomenal. We literally review any piece for any type of critical, component that may or may not mail well. And so all of those things, I think, our uniqueness is looking at all that's possible, Paul, for a mailer to be unique, but within the guidelines, right? To get the best mail postage, to make sure it flows through the mail seamlessly. So we're balancing all of those priorities for our clients, but continually to stay excited with really something exciting that could be offered in budget.
Right.
So this is a challenge. So every project for us is a challenge like that, to see how great we can help make it be for the best results.
Right. Well, that's great though, because it means that it isn't boring, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Far
awesome.
from boring, for sure.
Right. And I mean, for the clients too, for the your clients and customers, the end customer getting that mail piece, which, like you said, may be 3D, it may have some embellishments, it may have some other physical quality about it. It really just, there's a great wow factor there.
There is. And again, with all the postal discounts, right now in fourth quarter, you've got, massive discounts for 4% with informed delivery. These are all things that clients don't necessarily know that we're bringing to the table, with that and with our data team looking at any analytics for walk sequence. It's all part of the strategy.
Right. Right. And they're coming back in 2024.
Exactly. And I think they're going to continue to amp them up, most certainly. So, I think everyone knows that this really is something with USPS that drives results with mail. And so I think all of us, the marketers, the USPS, you and I met at the Postal Forum. I mean, I think really the messaging is continue to grow and see how we can make it work. Something else I wanted to mention was oversized mailers, and then also envelopes or holders made out of heavier weights. Within timeshare and travel, a lot of times we are actually sending out the member kits once you've joined and pieces as such. So there is the ability to actually create these types of specific envelopes in heavier weight and mail with them. So we do quite a few programs with that. Also, data's automated. We're sending out the kids daily with different data feeds with the fulfillment team and warehousing. So all of that is definitely integral to our business as well.
Cool. And again, that physical factor of something that's like a heavier stock really stands out when a customer receives it.
Right, the perceived value. Something else I wanted to share was, again, not only geo-targeting, but specific personalized data. We did a mailer that we mimic for ourselves just to kind of show, and what you see here are different times and different events. And so we had a healthcare provider that wanted to provide the ability within each different state to alert the potential member of different events that were happening and different dates. So this was a data dream. It was merging radiuses, it was merging dates, events, locations, all of this within one mail record. And it went from anywhere from one event with the ability to showcase 12 events in one piece. So it was a really exciting offering, Paul, because we mapped all of this, and the results for the client were so fantastic because each piece was so personalized and highlighted the events with the dates that if they missed the first one, this potential member went to the fourth one because they saw the location wasn't far and maybe a better date and time. So
Mhm.
that was an extremely successful mailing that we produced for a client, and really worked hard with our data teams to make sure all of that went out correctly.
Mhm. And some great attribution too on that, I imagine.
Yes, incredible. The attendance was over what was expected, which is always a win.
Awesome. Awesome. So, from your standpoint, what trends do you see unfolding in direct mail for the next couple of years?
The number one trend is really personalization, and I think we are seeing that everywhere, right? You go onto a website, you click into something, they're continuing to retarget you with what you've looked at because you have an interest. So what it is segmentation and personalization, and digging deeper than we've dug before, really taking all that's out there for different data selects and modeling. So what we're seeing a lot of our clients do is create their different models of client verticals, and so they're creating these clients and these profiles, and what we're doing is helping them create the target lists. And so each one of these profiles of a client ends up, we're helping them develop the client list and what is relevant with different selects.
Mhm.
So really, from a marketing perspective, we love to be involved in that list acquisition to help the development when they've done the different profiles. So that's where we're starting with our clients, to be able to offer this level of personalization. And we continue to then tweak the model throughout the mail streams and the different initiatives, with testing, Paul, and then looking at the attribution and who's converting and is that living to the model. So really continually referencing that data, live stream, live time, is what we're trying to do with our clients, because that's the best way to continue to use the marketing dollars wisely. So personalization to that newer level,
Mhm.
obviously personalized QR codes, but really amping it up with the video. People are responding to snippets and visuals. So we know that that's happening. So we're trying to really zone into that, and it's working. Color envelopes, oversized envelopes,
Mhm.
calls to action with gift incentives in various ways. Where you saw the magnet mailer, we're constantly looking at ways to send something out in a fold over direct mail format that's thin, that's something that's an incentive for a client, that is a promotional item that stays, maybe a jar opener, maybe a lens cleaning cloth, things that we
Interesting.
mail.
Oh, okay.
Yep. That then again stay not only next to the mail piece, right? But then also usability. And you've got these products being branded. And so that really ties into that huge area of promotional gifting that we have, and the brand management, because these items live on, especially
Yep.
utilitarian household ones, right? That appeal to all of us.
Yep.
So we love the type of projects to kind of unearth what can be with clients that maybe hadn't considered that in their direct mail funnel. And then the other part to that is, I'll start to bring out a couple more, is really boxes.
Right.
Another large part is, let's say maybe we saw that person go on the website. Maybe the next step is to send out, a personalized message with a small, this was a note card set that we actually sent for a holiday gift. It could be, more of a gift offering. The Greater Miami Convention and Visitors Bureau, they sent out for meeting planners this gift box that then contained, a hat. This is all in black, so you don't see as well.
Right.
And then a journal and a bottle.
Mhm.
So
Interesting. Very interesting.
we are continually showcasing to our clients that these type of mailers garner something to another level. Like, this is one that we did for ourselves, and this is based on all recycled promotional gifting and giveaways with a customized letter.
Okay.
So this type of personalization in tandem with a 3D mailer, in tandem with a giveaway, is something that we're seeing tremendous growth in, and really taking a bit from a traditional direct mail budget to see the higher level prospects engage with this type of manner. And then these results are incredibly, you see their measurability, right, in comparison.
Yeah.
But typically we'll look at a campaign, we'll look at a budget, Paul, and we help define where this may work, right? Where in the funnel, where in the budget, and to what type of potential consumer. We are seeing, as much as everyone is into, prospecting and new client growth, people are also as focused on retention, especially in the financial and healthcare sectors, retaining their clients or their patients. And how do we do that? So we've also launched client retention programs. That's where we're seeing these come in. HR programs, onboarding, right, within companies to then send these out. And so this year at USPS, there's a lot of different mail incentives with also flat rate, one rate mailing. So we're constantly looking with these programs, what's the best shipping method? How can we help you get this in the market effectively at a good cost, right, from a postage standpoint? So we've got a fantastic team that works on that and is on the cutting edge to understand where this is all going, what the deliverability is, what the tracking method is, et cetera, for these types of programs.
Wow, that's pretty cool. That's a pretty impressive meshing too, I think, for the world of promotional products and direct mail and where they can easily intersect.
Right. And we're seeing the growth of that. It's like a perfect partnership. And, the exciting thing about our company, we do have so much to offer, but we are also part of a peer group network. And so we have 8 other print companies that have joined together, and we share financials, we share buying resources, we can source some of the promotional items in China, paper. All of this is a pooled resource. But the beauty of that is with the Brand Stash portal, all of the different companies within our peer group network can also execute any of the programs for better postage rates and better in-home dates. So we've got the facility in Houston, Texas, we've got Ohio, we've got Phoenix, we've got Denver and Louisiana. So what we've also seen with some of our rapidly scaling clients is the ability to loop in the network that we have this on a storefront platform for automation, and then the execution of this within local markets that make sense. That we're seeing is measurable. We have a client who probably saved over 25% in all of their postage and really reduced their in-home rates by at least 2 days by utilizing our peer group network.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, I think that's a great place to wrap things up. How can people find out more about Southeastern for assistance in elevating their brand?
Absolutely. Clearly our website at seprint.com would be one resource. And when you go onto the website, you have the ability to not only book a demo, but then download some of our ebooks. And so there's a ton of great content with the ebooks to reference. And so I suggest you go and just poke around on the website and see some of the fantastic content we're offering. Also, the blogs have some great information, but we're excited. And I think to really understand the depths of how we partner and how we are strategic, I think different than many in the marketplace would be to book a meeting and a demo with our team and do a discovery call and see where maybe some of our products and services can align.
Awesome. Well, thank you again, Anneliese Gelber of Southeastern, for being with us today. And thank all of you out there for watching as well. If again you have any questions for us or for my guest, please leave them in the box below. You can show your support for the program by tapping the like button and click on subscribe to be notified of new videos when they're added to the Who's Mailing What channel. If you want to be highlighted in a future episode of Meet the Mailers, I want to hear from you. So my contact info can be found in the paragraph below by tapping the Show More button. Thanks again for watching Meet the Mailers, and see you next time.